All right, finna go to get started. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to season two, or not even welcome back, right? Let me get this started right. Welcome to season two of the Life of Champ podcast, episode number 101. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about different life chapters, the starting and the ending of a life chapter. So, like I said, if you have any questions regarding any of those, make sure you go ahead and leave in the comments. Also, a few things I want to mention. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on TikTok, just Life of Champ Podcast on TikTok, as well as make sure you go ahead and like my YouTube Shorts. I'm going to be posting more consistently. So yeah, definitely tap in with that for sure. I'm gonna get those running back up here in a minute for sure. But I've been enjoying my time off, so I'll go ahead and talk about that for a little bit. So I spent the last 2 weeks. It's been about 2 weeks since I did the podcast. Ever since I got it started, I never took a 2 week break off, if I'm not mistaken. So it was good to take a 2 week off. I definitely missed it for sure, but I will say it was very, very necessary to go ahead and take a break because, like I said, I've been doing it for a little bit over a year. So good break, back to it, and back to pursuing the passion, and back to getting back to what I need to do, right? And some changes have been made in my life, so that has been very, very good. And I've been very, very fortunate for that for sure. So yeah, I'm finna go to get it started, man. All right, give me 1 second. All right. So what I've seen within my own life through this podcast and through yeah, through my podcast and through my actual like out of podcast life, I've seen both of these happen within this last 2 weeks, which is why I found it so profound to talk about and something that I have yet to talk about. So I started to see the start of a lot of different things, right? Like for example, I recently got a new job, and that has been all right. That has been all right. It is what it is. Shout out to Hazel and KJ. Appreciate you for stopping by. And yeah, I just been starting new things. So that has been very, very good. Definitely reaping the benefits that I would like it to reap for sure, as well as ending things, right? Ending season one of the Life of Champ podcast, 100 episodes deep. That was something very, very good and very, very special to me. So I'm glad I got to go ahead and end that off, and as well with that, also ending a certain lifestyle that I was so accustomed to, which was a lifestyle of freedom and a lifestyle of pursuing what I want to do 100%, right, all the time, which was very, very good. But I knew eventually it needed to come to an end, and it's definitely something I will tap back into probably later on this year for sure. So definitely looking forward to that whenever that is. But accepting kind of where you are in life, right? Recognize where you are in life first of all, right? That's the first thing you must do. Second thing you must do is understand if you're starting something new, or ending a chapter or starting a chapter, right? You definitely got to go ahead and analyze your current situation to figure out what specific stage you are in, right? And one thing I want to mention with ending things, which is I feel like a lot of people struggle with this, right? They get stuck on this. They get stuck on one chapter of their life and refuse to move on because they're holding on to something within that chapter that was so significant to them. And I think that is probably one of the perfect times to go ahead and understand that you must let go of whatever you need to let go of, right? So yeah, that's going to be my advice to you right now. If you're constantly almost on a hamster wheel with where your life is at right now, right? There's nothing really changing, and yeah, like I said, it's as simple as that, right? Nothing's really changing. That is going to be the perfect opportunity for you to go ahead and end things, right? And hopefully you are satisfied with how it ended, right? Along with that, starting something new, right? Start something new. Start a new way of being. Start new mindsets, right? Start to adopt new mindsets and tap back into what you need to tap back into to get to where you want to go, right? So like I said, starting things that are new, regardless of what you're starting, is very, very difficult in the initial beginning, but it is an absolute necessity to life, right? So yeah. With that being said, when it comes to starting one new, like I said, the way it's kind of going to look is ending something off, right? So those are going to be intertwined for sure. You must become clear with what you would like that to look like. A lot of people like to start this, in a new year or a new month or a new week, right? Start wherever you're at, right? Like I said, recognize what is needed to be ended, and also recognize what you would like to start, right? Like I said, just don't be one of these people that really cling on, truly cling on to their chapter that they're currently in life. Um, and even some of them they let it linger on way too long, right? And then they're stuck on this. Like I said, they're stuck on a hamster wheel. They can't make any progress, and they're thinking to themselves, "Why am I not making any progress?" But in reality, they're doing the same thing that they've been doing for the last few months, and they haven't changed anything, right? And they're expecting different results, and obviously that's not smart, right? That's just not smart in general. So yeah, definitely be very conscious of that for sure. Give me one second. Like I said, if you have any questions regarding the starting of a new chapter of your life or ending one off, make sure to go ahead and leave in the comments for sure. All right. Along with ending things off, right? I'm kind of going everywhere, but hopefully you guys can take something from this, at least one thing from this, right? But when it comes to ending things off, yeah, when it comes to ending things off, recognize that there's never going to be a perfect time to end things off. There's going to be better times, but there's never going to be a perfect time. There's definitely going to be a wrong time for sure. But yeah, don't wait for a certain moment, right? If it feels done, then it's done, right? Yeah, like I said, there's just better times than others, right? There's times where it's definitely not going to be an ending, right? Especially if you're in the middle of something, starting something, right? Then obviously you can't end it right there. But yeah, it's gonna feel natural, right? There's going to be certain things you do in your life that's going to make it feel supernatural to go ahead and end things off, right? All right, give me one second. Like I said, I'm gonna need y'all active in the comments, man. Come on now, come on now. Give me one second. Give me one second. All right, yeah. When getting into a new chapter of life, you must be excited, truly excited. You must make yourself excited to be experiencing that different journey that you're going on, right? Getting into that new chapter, there needs to be things that you are truly excited about, right? That are different than what you're leaving, that are most definitely different than what you're leaving. So me, for example, right? There are certain things that I was accustomed to for the last year that I'm constantly I'm changing, and I'm in the current process of changing and adapting to that change. And this is something that, like I said, you could take for your own life, right? There's going to be a moment where if you're starting something new, or if you're starting a new chapter in life, right? There's going to be a period where you're going to need to go ahead and adapt to your circumstances, right? And everybody's going to be different for the period of time it's going to take to go ahead and adjust. But just know that do not look back in those moments. They're going to there's going to be difficult moments, especially like I said, adapting to something that's very very new to you. But definitely going back is not the route to go. Obviously, the only place you have to go is to go forward with that. I seen that within my own life. Like I said, I had to sacrifice certain what I would perceive to be luxuries um, of my past lifestyle, and I had to go ahead and adopt more responsibility, and that is something that you're definitely going to need to go ahead and do. Also, with this chapter, like I said, with this new chapter in my life, and like I said, with the new chapter in your life, understand you're going to need to implement again and again, going to need to implement more self discipline. That is going to be a recurring theme that I see throughout all my chapters of life. Is going to be added discipline to whatever chapter that I'm in. And this is a perfect example because now I have a lot more on my plate that I need to go ahead and worry about. So, with that being said, trying to keep the main thing is going to be difficult, but it's not impossible, right? Obviously, I'm gonna be working out still. I'm still gonna be going 6 days a week. There's going to be, and I know this is gonna happen. I'm gonna run into a wall, very very here soon. But I'm obviously gonna go ahead and get past it because that's just what I do. Um, like I said, the adjusting period is going to be an interesting one for me to go ahead and tackle right now. But if you're currently going through an adapting period in your own life, right? Just recognize that there's going to be better moments ahead for sure. Better moments are going to be ahead, and you're going to need to go through that very very awkward stage in the beginning in order to get to anywhere that was better than where you previously were. So tap in with that for sure. Give me one second. I'm reading Kata's comment. All right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. There's no room for complaining. There's no room for giving up. There's just no option for that. There's no. We don't have time for that around here. We truly do not. Like I said, you just adapt and you move on, man. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I would say it's just as simple as that. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited for these new opportunities because there's going to be more tests ahead, right? We're starting a new chapter. There's going to be challenges, plenty of challenges ahead, plenty of things that you don't even plan for to go ahead, right? And with that being said, that is something that you must embrace. You must embrace the challenge. You must embrace the unknown, right? Most people are afraid of the unknown. I would say damn near everybody's afraid of the unknown, but recognize that that's where the most growth is going to happen. So therefore, that is where you must go, regardless of how you feel, right? Like I said, a lot of people will not. They will not. They cannot get past that for whatever reason. They cannot get past it. It's too uncomfortable. And if you're a person that is struggling to get to that point where it's just not uncomfortable for you. Um, like I said, you just got to keep pushing. You just got to keep pushing. Actually, yeah. You must shed a skin. You must shed some layers of yourself, right, in order to get to where you want to get to. Like I mentioned with the self discipline, right? Adding more layers of self discipline, understanding that you're going to get tested. You're going to be tested in these certain moments that, like I said, feel uncomfortable. Understand that you must prevail throughout all the tests that are going to be in your way for sure. Like I said, for me, I'm going to be tested within my discipline and within my structure of my day, right? And I feel like a lot of people are definitely in that same position where they're struggling to do all the things that they want to do. And it all I would say most of it what it comes down to is actual structure. Not even so much having the time, just structuring it in a way that's favorable and that even though it might feel difficult at times, just still doing it anyways. Shout out to Anthony. He's definitely an inspiration that I've seen within the last I think since he started working his job. I want to say a few months ago. He's a person that wakes up very, very early after he's done. He rests for like an hour or two and then gets back in the gym, right? That's something that I definitely admire from him for sure. It definitely is an inspiration to me for sure because to do that, I would say it is a part of the bare minimum, but at the very least, there's going to be moments, very, very, very hard moments where you're not going to feel like doing it. But like you guys know around here, man, a part of being the person that you want to be is just doing it when you don't feel like doing it, right? You must do that, and yeah, he's definitely been a perfect example um, of that in the past few months. So it's definitely been great to go ahead and observe, and something that I'll definitely implement, and definitely I will use his motivation in those moments where, like I said, I might be tired after work, but at the end of the day, the work still needs to get put in. So therefore, the work must be put in, and like today, for example, worked out, and now I'm working again, right? So, like I said, you just got to find a way to do it. You just got to find a way to do it. Like I said, motivation's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. Starting a new chapter, right? Motivation's not going to be enough. You're going to need that self discipline in order to prevail through the difficult moments that will inevitably come with starting things that are new, with adapting to the new chapter of your life. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, I want to talk more about the ending of a chapter, right? If you guys have any questions of what that would look like, make sure you go ahead and leave in the comments. Yeah, one thing I want to say with that as well, right? When it comes to the ending, I feel like life has this very subtle way of letting you know, right? Hey, it's done, right? It'll throw new challenges your way. Like I said, it'll give you different mindsets. Sometimes it'll feel played out, truly played out, or maybe you might even feel burned out, and that's when you're going to need to go ahead and recognize that that is an ending. But I do believe that life unconsciously kind of brings you that moment, and you just kind of just know. That's the way that that's the way that I've seen it in my own personal life, right? With with ending a chapter, I kind of seen it coming, right? I seen it coming for a minute, and then when I seen it fully develop, it made sense, right? And there's going to be plenty of moments in life where that doesn't make sense truly, and that is something you're just going to need to go ahead and accept that life's not going to make sense all the time, but life is not meant to make sense. It's meant to be lived, right? And you must live it. And with living it is recognizing and adapting to those situations, and like I said, also recognizing when it is an ending of a chapter. All right. Yeah, like I said, don't let it be dragged on, man. Don't let it be dragged on. Do not let the fear of the unknown dictate whether you stay in this chapter or whether you move on to the next. That is, like I said, that is a common flaw that I see within a lot of people's life, that they refuse to have an ending to a chapter because, like I said, they're just scared. They're just scared. You'll see it with most people. Most people in this life, they're stuck. They're stuck in a certain chapter that they refuse to let it go. They refuse to move on from certain situations, and they're gonna stay. They're gonna stay at that vibration. Truly, that's what it is, and that's something that I really need you guys to really emphasize on. Is if you refuse to end a chapter, whatever it looks like, right? There's many chapters within life in general, and there's many different sections of chapters within life. If you refuse to let go of certain things, you are going to be hindering yourself in other areas unconsciously. This could be letting go of exes. This is going to be one that I would say I definitely struggle with on my own, right? Refusing to let that chapter end, or like I said, within whatever your situation is, right? Refusing to let those chapters end and understand that it's been played out, right? And understand that the world has been telling you, right? The universe has been telling you that that's done. That's been done. And if you refuse to go ahead and accept that, life is not going to work in your favor, right? If there's something that I've also observed within my own life as of recently, and like I said, maybe you guys can, um, show me some of your own experience. But when I have been doing everything that I know I need to do correctly, I see myself progressing. I see life progressing in itself. And when I refuse to go ahead and let chapters of my life, um, I refuse to let them end. I also feel like I am regressing, right? I constantly feel that feeling of regression because um I'm not letting it go, right? So like I said, if you personally have an experience like that where you felt like you were doing everything you needed to do and you were truly moving forward, and also if you refuse to let the ending of a chapter be, and you felt yourself regressing, I want you to go ahead and leave in the comments, because I feel like that is probably a common feeling that most people have had. But like I said, do not let the ending of a chapter, whatever it is, whatever situation in life that you're in, do not let it hinder you, because it might be in one area of your life, but recognize that it's going to be holding you back in a completely different area unconsciously, right? Because that is just how the world works, right? That is my own personal experience, but I'm sure, like I said, you guys can definitely see some type of commonality within your life or through your own experiences, which led you to believe that as well for you. Sometimes you just have to force yourself out of your comfort zone. Exactly, right? Yeah, that is a perfect example of what you need to do. You must force yourself out of it. There's no other way around it. There's no other way around it. Sadly, there's not. All right, give me 1 second. I'm trying to think what else. With ending one, man, let me tell you, ending a chapter, that, like I said, that is very very painful, man. That is very very painful. You hold on. One thing I want to mention as well is, with ending a chapter, recognize that a certain identity that you have, that you've held on to so carefully, is going to be ended, right? It's going to be gone. It's just gone, and that is okay. That is okay. Recognize that it is okay. Accept the fact that it is okay. Like one thing that I seen, for example, right? If you guys recognize, right, the last podcast I had a beard, right? I no longer have a beard right now, right? Accepting that just felt right to me to go ahead and end that for now. And like I said, moving on. Obviously, it's a very very small example, right? It's a very very small example, but it's something that is still relevant, because, like I said, if you are watching, you've probably noticed that whether you've seen it on social media or whatever you've seen it in clips, right? I obviously look different, but like I said, you just gotta recognize those moments where it just feels right to do that in the moment. So that's what I went ahead and did. And like I said, for you, for example, if there's a certain thing that you need to stop doing in order to progress to the next chapter of your life, then you must go ahead and stop doing that. And like I said, even if it's super painful, but deep down, you have the innate feeling that deep down it's going to give you more benefit, you must do it. Like I said, I feel like a lot of people also can resonate with that feeling very, very much so, almost too much, where they truly feel like they're doing something that's hindering them, but they continue to do it because it's just so comfortable. It's so it's so second nature. It's so, like I said, just comfortable, absolutely comfortable. And to even refuse that idea is such a hard thing to go through. But recognize that it is an absolute necessity. It's an absolute necessity of the human evolution and the human experience. An absolute necessity, man. I cannot stress that enough. Everybody needs to change in their life in order to be, yeah, exactly. And it isn't even about being the when you say being the best, right? It's not about being the best. It's about being the best you. More importantly, right? In order to be the best you can become, you must you must recognize that you need to shed those, shed that skin, right? Shed that identity. Create a new identity. What do you want your new identity in this new chapter of your life to look like? Ask yourself a question like that. That is a beautiful question, I would say. And like I said, one that I would recommend most people ask themselves when it comes to this, um, the starting of a new chapter. That is something that I'm currently asking myself right now in the beginning of a new chapter in my own life, right? What identity do I want to uphold? What identity do I want to stick to? Who am I trying to become in this specific point in time? And also, more importantly, what am I supposed to learn from this period of my life as well? Right? I feel like a lot of people never ask themselves that question, and it's something that I would say if you're conscious enough to go ahead and ask yourself that question, you're definitely going to get a lot more than most people, because most people, they just live in experience. But if you're asking yourself questions in those moments, life is going to be a lot more easier for you. That's what I will say. I'll say that in the very least. It's going to be a lot more easy to observe the answers, because sometimes you ask yourself certain questions like the ones that I had mentioned, and you don't always get the answer right away, right? Sometimes you need to live life a little bit more, live out the chapter, live out the story a little bit more, and then come up to the conclusion that you need to come up to. And that is completely okay. But if you never ask the question, then you'll never get the answer, right? So that is why you must. That is why I stress the importance of asking the question, asking those certain questions when it comes to, like I said, starting a new chapter and also adopting a new identity. I see it time and time again within my life, right? I recognize people that exist within my, even my family, right? Where I see them stuck on this same type of wavelength, right? They're refusing to let a chapter end. They're refusing to, like I said, let an identity die because, or for whatever reason, because it's super comfortable. It feels great. It feels great right now. They know deep down I can see this, and this is something that I recognize thoroughly when it comes to me being in the presence of somebody. I can recognize when they're getting hindered, right? When they're regressing because for whatever reason they're so comfortable with what they're doing and they're refusing to go ahead and shed a specific identity of theirs. I can see them not exceeding where they have been, right? And I want to say most people can see this, right? Maybe not, maybe not, but to the people who are closest to you, you can recognize when they've stayed on the same chapter, when they're refusing to let it end, and when they're scared of starting something new, right? I feel like you can kind of see that, right? Just having the conversation, and especially with this as well, right? If you're having the same exact conversations that are not productive with the same people, either you or them are refusing to let a chapter end. I think it's just as simple as that. I think it's just as simple as that. I've had time and time again where there were certain chapters that I wanted to end in my own life, right? Because something that I mentioned on previous podcasts is recognizing how impressionable you are when it comes to your environment, right? There are certain environments that I put myself in previous times where people that were close to me, they were not they were refusing to let that chapter end. So therefore, that chapter remained open for me, even though I truly wanted its end. And eventually, I got sick of it. And this is something that I can see probably within, like I said, within your guys' life as well, right? There's certain people holding you back from getting on to the next chapter, right? They're keeping you in this one chapter. But you're gonna get to a point where it's just gonna be too much. It's gonna be too much, and you're either going to need to shed that person, and obviously get and find a new identity, or you're going to need to help that person truly get past that as well, right? The second one is much harder. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that at the very least, right? The second one is much harder to go ahead and do because, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, most people don't want to do that. They just truly do not want to do that. I would say they can't do it. They definitely can do it, but they just refuse to go ahead and do it because it's uncomfortable as hell. But like I said, life's not always about being comfortable. There's more to life than just being comfortable, right? Definitely more to life than just being comfortable. So with that being said, recognize if there is people holding you back, right? Keeping you on the ending of a chapter, even though you truly want it to end, but they are refusing to let it end. You might need to get rid of those people, right? You might need to distance yourself from those people at the very least. This is something that I mentioned on previous podcasts before, but definitely needs to be reiterated because for whatever reason, I still see the same people making the same mistakes. And that is just life. That is just life in general, right? You're going to if you refuse to change, you're going to run into the same problems, right? You're going to have the same complaints about life because you are refusing to adapt to something that is new. That's the way that I've seen it in my own life, right? If I'm refusing to let something go, I'm going to be in this constant cycle. Like I said, the only analogy that is correct and that fits the best is going to be a hamster wheel, right? If you see yourself constantly having the same problems, the same exact problems, and you're not doing anything, you're stuck in a hamster wheel, right? Remove. You must change something. You must change something. Something needs to change. Something needs to give. Um, and maybe it's not even something that you can change within your life circumstance. Maybe it's a specific mindset. Maybe it's refusing to go ahead and um, succumb to your urges, right? Maybe it's something like that, right? Maybe it's not something that you can physically change within your own life, but something that mentally needs to be shifted in order to have an upward spiral, right? Things like that, for sure. We got a few people in here. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Make sure you go ahead and leave a comment if you are in here, and if there is a specific thing that you want me to mention regarding the starting or ending of life chapters, make sure you go ahead and leave in the comments for sure. Hopefully, if y'all getting some game from this. If you're not, I try my best, man. I'm trying my best out here, man. Like I said, this is the start of season 2. Season 2 is going to be episode 101 all the way to 200. So I'm looking forward to hitting 200, probably around this same time of next year. So I'm definitely looking forward to that for sure. I wanted to say something else. Yeah. Also, with this being said, this next upcoming month of March, the next 2 months are going to be very, very big months for this podcast for sure. Things to look forward to for sure. And I know I've been saying this, but this is going to be an actual reality that we will exist in within this next 2 months. This is going to be, I'll be having my shirts come out very, very soon. So if you're interested in a shirt, make sure you go ahead and let me know. I'll be putting y'all on game with that for sure because I definitely been needing the shirts to come out and I definitely will have them out very, very soon. Along with that, I'm also going to be taking my streaming game up to a different level as well. I'll be doing reactions here very, very soon. I just need to get the correct equipment. I have so much equipment, but I don't have the correct equipment to go ahead and react to videos. But that is something that I'm going to be doing in the near future as well. I'm trying to think what else. Also, a different look, man. Different looking champ, man. Expect to see that in season 2 for sure. Different looking champ. I'm gonna make some subtle changes to the identity because in order to emerge, you must adapt a new identity. So that is going to be something I'm doing for sure. Changing my physical look, changing the mental, changing the physical, right? Everything's going to be changed. I won't say everything's going to be changed, but there's going to be certain changes to the podcast. Also, one thing I want to say is if you're a person who was watching this podcast right now, if there's certain things you can see that I can do better, make sure you go ahead and leave them in the comments. Do not be afraid to go ahead and express what you think can help me out. It would only help both of us out. So, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast here off very, very soon. Like I said, if you guys have any comments regarding the ending or starting of a life chapter, make sure to let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and end it off here soon. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Truly, like I said, if you were a big supporter of episode 1 through 100, I appreciate you. And like I said, this next wave, this is going to be all 2023, Takeover 23, fellas. So this is definitely going to be something I'm looking forward to for sure. Season 2 is going to be. I'm gonna 10x the views. I'm gonna 10x everything. So, like I said, we're just getting started, man. We're just getting started. Like I said, season 1 down. We just getting started out here, man. We just getting started. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it in about 10 minutes. So, like I said, if you have any questions, make sure to let me know. If you have no more questions, if you have no questions to ask, make sure you go ahead and say in the comments, I have no questions to ask you, champ, just so I can know. All right, give me 1 second. All right. I want a shirt. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely get you a shirt for sure. Yeah, the shirts are going to be. I want to have some of the same design, and then I also want to have some different designs for sure. Just because we got to change it up, man. Like I said, season two, we got to have some different shirts, different designs, different vibe, man, different vibe for sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the new shirts. Um, like I say, we got some. I got some plans that I have in motion right now that are definitely gonna start taking off here soon. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, fellas, let the new identity emerge. Let a new chapter emerge. And like I said, life's going to change for you. Life's going to change for you for sure. Accept the change. Accept the change, and that's just as simple as that, man. It's as simple as that. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it off. This will be a short one. I'll have another podcast obviously on Thursday, so look out for that one. But I'll make sure this one's a very short one. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you definitely got some value from this, and definitely hopefully you implement something that I mentioned because hopefully I mentioned something good enough for you to go ahead and implement within your own life. And most people watching this, they don't have it completely implemented. So hopefully you take something from this. Um, KJ, where you at, man? KJ, where you at, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Yeah, hopefully, yeah, and also with the season two as well, I'm going to be going live on TikTok here very soon. I'm gonna try to within the next 3 months. I'm gonna try to have the minimum requirement of 1,000 followers to go live, and then I'm probably gonna I'll let y'all in the secret, man. I'm probably gonna make multiple accounts to post my TikToks on. I'm probably gonna try to go viral on an account, but I'm still gonna have my main account of 1,000 followers, so I can go live and then also try to hopefully get this popping off, man. I have plenty of decently edited videos, and hopefully it's gonna definitely pay off for sure. Get it in front of some new eyes, and hopefully get a positive reaction. So yeah, that's probably something I'm going to be doing here very soon, within the next month for sure. So like I said, I appreciate everyone stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and end it off here. So this was the start of season two of the Life of a Champ podcast. Also, episode number 101, talking about the starting and ending of life chapters. Like I said, if you're rewatching this, make sure you go ahead and leave in the comments as well. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I will go ahead and respond to you as quick as I can. Other than that, oh yeah, fellas out here, man, we don't just work, man. We outwork. So make sure I work with these motherfuckers every single day. It's as simple as that. Like I said, I already put in the work. I worked, then I put in the work after, man. Come on now. You already know what time it is. And then after I worked out, after I put in the work and outworked, I still had to put in the work, man. So make sure y'all working these motherfuckers every single day because that's just what we do out here. And it's as simple as that. Y'all have a good night. And until Thursday, I'll be having episode number 102. So tap in with that for sure. Other than that, do you have anything else to say? Like I said, stay tuned, fellas. Stay tuned. This is going to be a big one for us. So y'all have a good night. And like I said, wait until Thursday. And we finna be tapped in for sure.